go.
Hey, Annie.
Hi! This is Annie cooking in the trailer park, and I'm with my little mascot, Luigi. And today we get to really get a treat. It's going to be a curry dish. Is it a curry dish? Okay. Paul's over there waiting, and I am going to walk in, gong us, and we're going to get started. Okay, Lou, I got to go wash my hands, and we're going to get started. Okay. Okay.
Hey, Annie. Who you got? Who's your guest?
Okay, this is Paul, our friend from BC, and I'm going to let him talk because he's got a wonderful recipe for us today. So, Paul, where are you from?
I'm from originally Ottawa, Ontario, but I moved out to British Columbia back in 2005. So I've been out there for a couple of decades. And today we're going to be making something that even I don't make very often, but it's so good. It just takes a lot of preparation time. It's called Lemon Chickpea Curry.
Let's see what you got.
All right. So show us what you...
Okay, we all know these are called chickpeas. In some places they're called garbanzo beans, of course, in the United States mostly, and that's what they're called. And this is in their dry state. These are organic. You don't have to have organic. Some people go with the stuff in the can, but if you use these dry versions, you have to soak them overnight.
Okay.
So this is our first stage. We're going to just have 2 or 3 cups of these in this container.
Okay.
And then we're going to wash. I don't know, Annie, if you can see right there, if you can tell me if we're up to 3 cups on the side.
I think you're pretty good.
No, a little bit more.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be feeding 4 people, correct?
Yeah, it could be 4 to 6 depending on the appetites and that sort of thing from people.
All right, there's 3.
Okay. So now we're just going to take that as you would normally and just rub it into a pan or pot big enough. Now you remember when we soak these, their volume is going to double in size. So don't be surprised if you find that if you have too many of them, your pot will actually, pot lid, and I've done it myself, the pot lid will swell because you've just got no more space in the pot.
Okay.
Now, do you add salt in here to make the water, or is there...
You don't have to add salt during the soaking,
Okay.
and I wouldn't do it actually, but in the cooking we will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, this is the 2-step process, is what Paul was trying to tell me. And when he was telling us about this, I was very excited. But it is time consuming, so we are going to do the first part today, soaking the beans, correct? And then when they blow up or whatever they swell.
Tomorrow at some point we're going to cook them, and then that itself will take about an hour to cook. Usually it's an hour, a little longer sometimes, depends on how soft you want them, but an hour at minimum.
Okay, so here we have it, and we will see you again.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Ron.
Hi, everybody. I am so glad that you're back. This is the second day of our wonderful chickpea curry vegetarian dish that Paul, our guest chef, has been making. Now, yesterday when we left you, we had put organic, raw garbanzo beans in the water, and they soaked all night. Now, oh, I have to back up. He did rinse them. He put them in the water, and then this really cool pot that we have, he just strained them. So
Okay.
you want to wash your peas before you start cooking them,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so now he's going to take over and explain everything.
All right, so what we have, as you said, we have the beans that have soaked overnight. And now what we're going to do is going to chop some ginger, because you want to cook your chickpeas or garbanzo beans in ginger water. And the reason is that, as most people know, this is the Indian technique. As most people know, when you eat beans, you sometimes get gas. And you don't want to do that. So by having ginger water reduces gas from eating beans. And so this is one of the things that we're going to put into the, and it gives the flavor to the gravy later with the water, because the water will be rendered down. I don't know what the right word here is, but we'll come back to it as we get into the process. I don't,
Yeah,
So what's
okay,
it?
you
We'll
wanna
take
we
a
were
break.
trying to figure out how it reduces. So there's a term.
We're gonna take a break.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Paul, where are we at?
Well, I've cut the ginger,
Okay.
and actually both Annie and I cut the ginger, and then we put it into the pot
Okay.
with the water. Now we're heating up the water,
Okay.
and we're going to let this cook for at least an hour.
Okay.
Okay, so it'll take a bit for the time for it to get going. And while this is going on, what we're going to do is prep all the other ingredients that are going to go into the frying pan.
And the other ingredients are.
Yes, let's go through that. So first things first is the ginger. We're going to be taking ginger and we're going to be frying it in the frying pan.
Okay.
And with the ginger, we're gonna first and foremost, we're gonna use. You have two options here. I'm talking about the Indian recipe. You can either use sesame oil
Okay.
or you can use coconut oil.
Okay.
All right. So, and you put in a couple of tablespoons. Believe it or not, you have to have it enough because it's going to be part of the gravy.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you take the spices, and the main spices here are going to be cumin, turmeric, and cinnamon. And we're going to fry the spices in the oil.
Okay.
And so that's part of the mixing of the gravy. And then we're going to be adding the ginger, sliced ginger. And then as the cooking process is started, once we've added the chickpeas, we're going to add carrots.
Okay.
And then we're going to be boiling it down, and boom, boom, will be.
What are you doing with
ready.
the lemons?
The lemons are going to be towards the very end of
Okay.
the process.
Okay.
That's the finishing touch. Just before you've finished with all the cooking, the lemon juice goes in
Okay.
with the gravy, and you're at the near serving stage.
So we'll take a break. And,
Oh, wait! Before we take a break,
Yes.
I want my audience to know something about ginger, which I just learned. Could you share your knowledge?
Oh yeah, so Annie had some yellow ginger. That's perfect. When the ginger is at its peak, it's either like a nice golden color or a yellow color. And if it starts to go kind of a turquoise green, you know that it's on the downslope. It's at the point where it's not as fresh and as tasty. So
Cool.
there you go.
All right. We'll
I'm
come
so
back,
excited.
right? Okay. We'll be back.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so what you may notice when you're cooking your beans, we have the top on, you're going to get all this foam. So the question is, do you leave the foam on? Well, no. If you want to take it off, it kind of looks like scum, but it's not. It's not scum, really. It's just foam that you're not going to want to have. So you can just rinse it off into the sink, right? And you can see how much foam went onto the bottom of the
You could just rinse the top too,
top.
right?
So it's the sort of thing that'll happen when you know you're boiling off your chickpeas.
Okay, so
So-
come closer, Kenny.
We're at about half an hour into the process right now cooking. So you want to keep them at a low boil
Okay.
throughout the cooking process.
So once you get the boil up and get the white foam, you turn down the flame. Now I don't know if Paul, did you mention I had frozen the ginger and it was a little bit soft, but you have to peel it, right?
You
Yep,
feel.
peeling the ginger, and that was another thing that I don't even know that much about ginger, so I'm learning. Thank you for being with us.